Board of Assessors meeting to order, and would you please stand and salute the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The Assessors meeting.
I gave you guys a nice.
We could just do like a Zoom background.
We could do. Yeah. I have to get Dennis to work on this camera because I think it's going haywire. Yeah, and it's not like pointing in the right direction, but it's supposed to be smart, so I can't move it. Like it's supposed to look where people are talking.
It was doing that on Monday too.
Yeah, I think I need to.
Came up on Monday.
Well, maybe if I say something, it'll pick up on this side of the room.
It might.
How about now?
Well, not that
How about now?
not that you're ever at a loss for words.
Oh, touche. Okay.
We do know it's a thing, so for those of you that have to run meetings up here, like you said at the last meeting, that little gray box is the Apple computer that's on the thing. The TV is the monitor. There's no laptop up there anymore. Trying to remove one more thing that can confuse people, to make it harder to have the meetings, for the different groups.
Have the instructions been updated so that
Dennis hand wrote them and he told me that he was gonna reprint them out and make it look nice and everything, but the password and everything is, hey, look, it likes Kayla, it moved. It's still blurry though, so we will get the camera fixed and all that stuff. I do just realize we didn't know whether it was the computer or the new setup or whatever, but I think it's the camera.
Motion sickness.
It can't seem to figure out where anybody is.
Oh, that is okay.
Right, and I don't know what's. So again, you have, is it okay, Mr. Chair? Okay, so we have, you have a list. I asked Donna to prepare sort of the shorter memo version of the abatements that are in front of you. I'm happy to read them through. The backup material is here. I will point out before I start, map 4, lot 140, Kurt Barabee. Donna has requested that be held off until a future meeting. Not comfortable with her initial recommendation that she put in the memo. Would like to wait. So if that's, would you like me to read through these again like I did last time? Is that the, okay. So we'll do, this is to the Board of Assessors from Donna Hayes, Assessors agent for the town. I have the following abatement requests that need your denial or approval. I've attached a letter with each taxpayer with my recommendation along with the abatement form for your signatures if necessary. Map 24, lot 44, Roger Pelletier, abatement requested. It wasn't specific. The recommendation is $47,500 reduction on his property. Map 43, lot 15-1, Peter Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Is that?
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Is that how it's pronounced? Okay, because I'm French, so usually it's different spelling.
Yep.
The abatement request, it didn't specifically say, but her recommendation is $8,600 in value. Map 20, lot 4-31, Alan Blaze, I believe that's Alan, right? Alan Blaze, abatement request $25,000, recommendation is $25,000. Map 16, lot 5, Eleanor Wilson, abatement request $84,800. Her recommendation is to deny that request. Map 16, lot 9, Thomas Hart Senior, abatement request $115,600. Recommendation is denial. Map 51, lot 42, David Martin, abatement request $150,000. Recommendation $57,000. And as I mentioned to begin with, map 4, lot 140, Kurt Barabee, abatement request $266,300. And she's asking for that to be held until a future meeting. If you were going to concur with all of those, I would say you concur with all of them except for map 4, lot 140.
Make a motion, we accept the recommendations of our assessing agent. Is that the correct term?
Yep,
Assessing
yep.
agent.
There you go.
And approve, with the exception of the final one, approve the recommended amounts.
I'll second that.
There's a motion by Ken, a second by Chris. To approve governor's recommendations. That for the last one. Wants us to wait on. Those in favor?
Because we have a few minutes, many more of these are approvals. So I need signature pages. I sent a few of them.
Exactly, we started down.
I had that were from your November 12th meeting.
Oh, were they down there?
Those are the ones that have
from-
previously been approved by you, and I neglected to put the signature forms in front of you, so that is on me, but those have already been dealt with. These are the ones you just voted on tonight. And I'm gonna make a big paper mess here, so if you can just bear with me. We do have time, we have till 6. I don't dare to give you all of these at once, because I won't be able to put them back.
Back together in the right packets, yes.
Then here are the three.
Oh, those are the ones from previous, thank you.
Get your bulbs done?
What?
You get your bulbs done?
Light bulbs, no. No, they're gonna start on December, they called today and asked if Tony could deal with them at Public Works on Monday, so they're starting Monday, which is a couple weeks ahead, about a week ahead of what they thought.
Okay, here are the first two.
Popped up.
He's home yesterday.
This is the night, so I don't need your signature. She's doing okay, it's just that she's, I'm gonna tell, Kent again, and I apologize that I can't give him an answer to, because she has no time to do anything other than this. So, these are not just like memos and stuff, like she literally goes to their houses and goes in, and she's only here a couple days a month, so she's doing nothing else except dealing with this. So there are some people that want routine matters done that are being delayed because these are statutorily mandated by the amount of time she has to deal with them. So these are going to the top of her pile, and there's nothing else that she can do. But she is doing fine. They are slowing down. Yeah, cool. We're getting there. Usually just a couple months of,
Deal with that?
And there's enough money set aside.
yes, we're not, yeah, we're still in the thing, right? So the big thing, I guess I can talk while you guys are doing this. The big thing is that both, our only real concern is that both of our large summer camps have retained an attorney. So I have reached out to retain my favorite property tax attorney in the state to defend us. And we don't know where that's going. We have no information. We just know that they've hired a lawyer to file an abatement, but we don't have the paperwork, so we don't know what they're actually claiming yet. So I'll have more on that future, but and to know people in this business. I'm gonna do my best to hire the best one. This is,
They must be doing all right. They just hired me for.
Peter Thibodeau.
You're more friendly.
You could get select board.
That's why you guys know how to pronounce his name.
Mom just saw him the other day. She said she saw him. Yeah.
Live on Main Street.
Your pals here.
How long do we have to keep doing this before we pass a thing so Donna can do this on her own?
Correct. Because it's a municipal officer ordinance and not a town meeting ordinance, you have to enact it, and then it doesn't take effect until after the next town meeting. So if people object to it, they're allowed to bring it up at the town meeting and repeal it over your will. So not effective until July 1st of, sorry, I'm being so tedious, but these are all legal documents that have to go to the deputy tax collector, the registry of deeds, they have to go all kinds of places. So I can't screw them all. This will be done, so there's no, nothing for you to sign. We're all set, so if you have any questions about, your role as the Board of Assessors, happy to answer that now, or you can adjourn and wait until 6 o'clock.
I make a motion, we adjourn the Board of Assessors.
I'll second that.
Motion by Kent, second by Chris to adjourn the assessors, all those in favor. Thank you.
Break time.
Oh, gee, it was a hot mess last week, wasn't it? Well, I bet it is, but I mean, all the accidents out there between Main Street and Joel's Lumber.
I'll go to the tree
Tree.
cutting. That's what.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, people
yeah.
coming over the hill and all of a sudden somebody stopped in front of them. I saw that almost happen myself is my traffic was going and no, it was a school bus and I was in Winthrop. That's where it was. I was on 202 in East Winthrop and a school bus was stopped there and the school bus started going. So I started going, because I was in the opposite direction and I saw this guy just drive over into the breakdown lane. So he didn't smash into the car that was stopped in front of him behind the bus. Yeah. Those red blinking lights are hard to see.
Big yellow.
Yeah,
I was in front of the tractor trailer when it got rear-ended,
yeah.
and I'm like, oh, man, damn.
What was that?
You heard it all the way up in your car.
Yeah.
Not something you want to rear end. They're kind of
I'm
high.
assuming there were no injuries in that one. That's good.
I don't miss commuting for work.
Yeah, me too.
I got on the car tonight and I was like, oh my God, I have to clean it off. I was like, I don't know where my car is. I never have to drive during the day normally anymore.
It's just kind of the packet, so there's a lot of pages tonight, so that's the agenda, if that's all you want, but this goes with it. If you want all back up.
Your island all closed up.
Oh, yeah. But man, we're not doing anything on the lake.
Yeah.
Do all the short side stuff now. So,
Yeah.
Were you in this car?
and now we do all the inside the garage stuff.
Do you guys have like a cocoa stand on the island during ice fishing season?
No, but you know, there's possibility there.
Such a good way to like,
Oh,
get some
yeah.
extra fun, just have coffee and cocoa and
Oh, yeah.
let the ice fishers know.
Yeah, I'm like this with the ice fishing crew because I go out there, walk the dog, go for hikes, you know, you get cabin fever in February. And, so I go around and it's like the same crew every year, right? Same guys,
Same shacks around. Yeah.
what creatures you have. Yeah.
But they know what.
Yeah, my son's sitting around now and waiting for the ice in front of my mother's house to freeze up so my stepdad can make an ice rink. That's the next step, right? Now we can't do anything else, so now it's make me an ice rink. Papa.
They were at the fishing game.
In Minnesota who, they were talking about going out on the lakes already and ice fishing. I was like, are you sure it's thick enough? And they were like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like,
Yeah.
does your state have a like list online? I'm like, Maine has an ice out like link and stuff
Yeah,
and
not
like,
an ice in. It's-
yeah, like it doesn't have an ice in, but
No.
I'm like, online with how many inches you need based on what you're putting on the ice. And I sent it to them and they were like, oh, we probably don't have that much yet. And I was like, yeah, don't go on the lakes yet.
Are they new to Minnesota?
They just moved back there in the last couple of years and not like winter people.
Going Florida.
To fish you and stuff. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea just yet. I was like, ice fishing doesn't even start in Maine this early.
No. There's two or three good rules of thumb. Rule number one,
Hail,
know your limit.
warmers
They
and
have like the same amount of snow that we do, and I was like,
just.
ooh.
No reason.
Like, if Minnesota's anything like Maine, I'm like,
And I
you don't wanna
know
fall.
how It's just like.
Well, this time of year, of course, it might be iced over, but there's moving water.
Like,
Exactly,
take some
yeah.
responsibility, just keep this place.
Rule number two for me is always let the teenagers go.
Oh, yeah. It's like people throwing their
Then you follow their snowmobile trail and.
toilets at the town beach.
Yeah.
Like you can't take that with you.
On the lakes, because
Really?
my uncle,
Don't
before he
throw it in
passed,
there.
place on Invested Lake,
Freezes
you know, and
It's stuck in there.
he would always be like, it's safe, like there'd be tons of people in there, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, is it
Oh, yeah.
really?
Oh, even, I mean, I don't go out unless there are tons of people
Yeah.
because
I'm like,
I
I
have
see
somebody who comes
trucks, and I'm
in.
like, okay, it's probably safe.
Did you see the article in the paper about the balloon?
John is
I did. Some guy rescued a loon.
He was all dressed up in this.
I think we're looking on ours. I think that's 3 or 4 times in this.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I guess if you know the lake and there's some places,
Yeah.
you know, farther north maybe that are better frozen. But, yeah. Even this brutal cold weather, I get a call from a neighbor. He's like, hey, the Jug Stream froze over, which is first time in like 10 years. Because of the low flow of the water, right? There's not a lot of heat going through there.
Right.
Yeah.
It's been awful.
Yeah.
How cold it's been.
Yeah, no end in sight either.
We had an abundance of grass in the stream at the end.
Really?
So that slowed the water, spread it out, slowed it down, and it froze right away.
Yeah. It's amazing how fast that ice comes in when it's a still night and super cold. Single digits, no wind. There's not a lot of mixing and you get, 3 inches of ice instantly.
It was a 32-degree temperature shift from yesterday morning to this morning.
I know, it's Maine when you go outside, it's 20 degrees and you go, whew, that's warm.
Tony, how are you?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what?
Could be in town.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Chair, I have 6 o'clock if you're ready.
There we go.
Call the meeting to order. And next thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the last meeting.
But I read them and I didn't see anything.
Are we, as of, I don't know if it was last meeting or this meeting, are we gonna do Kayla's suggestion about a transcript as well?
Yes, so that's actually a good point. Dennis told me that it was set up on here, but let me double check on that, because I'm not an expert at this, but that is a good point. He looked into that. I'd rather not.
I turned it on automatically, because with the Teams ones I've had to do, I set the thing to automatically.
Which is what I think he did, but you're gonna have to give me a second, because I don't know how to do it. Or Kayla, if you
He
are,
was doing it.
Yeah,
if you are more
I think it's an email.
inclined here.
be under the settings. Usually it'll pop up and say like transcript.
being
Yeah.
You did say we could do it. I'm not really that bright. Not turn on
I don't usually use Zoom. We're a Teams group at my work. But it's probably in the same spot.
So the motion to approve the minutes or?
Did you have any suggestions on the minute? No. I make a motion, we approve the minutes of November 12th, 2025.
Second.
So the motion by Chris, second by Ken. Approve the minutes of November 12th. All those in favor? Thank you. Next our department reports.
Yeah.
Tony? Do you want to say anything?
Okay. If I ever throw it up, not. So, obviously, we're in winter mode now. We still plan on doing some brush trimming as time allows, but so the first 2 weeks of winter, we're flying start storms, weeks in a row. So we're busy. I'm gonna give you any reports on equipment or anything. Gonna keep my mouth shut. Well, bad stuff happens. So I do have a question for you about where do we want to try to go transfer station wise? I've ordered new stickers. I'm getting them numbered so that we have better tracking ability. I think that
You're gonna attach on the inside, not on the outside? On the inside of the window, not on the outside?
well, there's several things that I'd like to see.
Yeah.
We have people that don't want to affix a sticker for whatever reason, I don't know. I would say we have to make them affix a sticker to the vehicle. So when when you register your vehicle, we can have sticker number 1,270 goes to your vehicle. Why do I say this? I firmly believe we've got some abuse going on because there's no way we can generate what we generate. We ground that wood pile in August. And you drive down there right now, it's already a mountain. Brush, I understand because trees come down and stuff, and we put a lot of stuff in the brush pile, so I don't think that's a big issue, as big an issue. But the demo, we're hauling 2 bins a week. So there's 400 just in the truck, and plus the tipping fee. We're taking in, we took in, I think this week was 490. The week before was like 600. The week before that, we really did have a pretty big week. We were 1,200. But look at the tire pile. I don't know about everybody else, but if I go buy tires, they say, do you want us to dispose of your tires? To me, that's a no-brainer. Why do I want to put them in my car and then bring them to the transfer station? And then something doesn't make sense to me how it's going. You go down there and look at the number of tires. We are building up a pretty good pile of refrigerant items. One of our guys we bought the equipment to take you have to capture the refrigerant, then you can just throw it in the metal pile. Very expensive process, paying for somebody to do it, so we bought the tool. You have to pass a test, so that's one of those, when you got time, let's knock this out. In the meantime, we're in winter mode, so we're fixing stuff, just nature of the beast. So my suggestion is we make them put the sticker on the vehicle. We definitely gotta have a price adjustment
I'll separate trash, I'll give you trash after demo and all that stuff, but the price has gone up on what it costs us to get rid of stuff. Everybody, you know, the going rate now to get rid of a tire is $15. We charge $2. We pay 5 to 7. So that's a money loser. The demo is a huge money loser for us. You know, we're charging $5 for a mattress. A lot of places between $20 and $35. I guess, you know, I've been looking at what other places charge. I know I've told you guys this many times. I have no idea why we have so many mattresses. It just, there's no way all those mattresses are from Monmouth and Wales. It just, everybody would get a new mattress twice a year. Asphalt shingles, another big cost because they're very heavy. So we were allowing them to dump over on a bin. That creates work for us. Now we have to move them into the trailer, the box, to have them hauled off. Well, that's time for us. We have to use the load that. There's several things. It's just time consuming that my guys are down there instead of doing what I want them doing. So I started making, you bring shingles to the transfer station, you gotta put them in the bin. You know, the only way we don't let them is if it's full. But a guy very upset that he had to do that. Joseph, this was on a Saturday or Sunday. Joseph called me. I talked to the guy. I said, look, it's so cheap for you to get rid of them. It costs us money anyway. Now it costs us more if I have to do the labor. He called 2 kids in, paid them $50 a piece, so now he's got 200 in it, and is so happy that he got such a deal that he has to tell our guy that's running the transfer station. It just, to me, we're subsidizing too much, and it shouldn't be that way. If you want to get rid of your stuff, you're gonna have to pay for what, you know, whether we just get rid of demo totally and they have to take it to either Lewiston or wherever themselves, they'll probably cut down on what's going on. I need from you guys an idea, which way do you want to start moving so that I can start that process. I can sit in the office and talk to Joseph. I can go up to the town office and talk to Justin and Lori and, you know,
Right.
This is what I think.
Right.
But
What he's
that
saying,
does me no good. You guys have to give me some direction, where you want to try to go with this.
right,
just
we
to-
need to know if you guys are gonna look at this thing whole cart and be willing to make changes, or whether you're just asking us to nibble around the edges.
Yeah, you want me to just
That's
leave it as it
It's a
is.
lot of work for us
That's
to
fine.
totally reinvent the transfer station, and if it's not gonna go anywhere and there isn't any support to do it, Tony and I have better things to do than to, you know, create a whole plan and then have it be sort of chucked to the side. So if you want us to look at it as a holistic change about the way that things are done in this town, we're willing to do the work. If you're really looking for us to just bring back, you know, incremental things that might make things a little less expensive and might make it a little easier on the transfer station staff, we're willing to do that too. We just need some indication of what you want us to do.
Well, I think go ahead. I think the big thing that we wanted is to have, you know, first of all, we know that the cost of things has to go, to get rid of them has to go up. We've asked for that for several years now because we knew there had to be price increases to get rid of the demo. And that with your experience from doing this other places, you know, to tell us what you think, where we need to go, because we know that we've been subsidizing people's trash removal for years now, and that we need to make a wholesale revamp of it. I mean, is my opinion. I think that we've been asking for that for a while.
Could
From
we,
that statement, go ahead.
could we see maybe a listing of the costs to like get rid of the demo?
Absolutely.
Get rid of the dirty wood.
Yeah.
Get rid of the tires, all that stuff that you mentioned. And then the same thing with the recycle, which we're planning to maybe do something with. But the cost for sending all that stuff down to Portland versus the cost of sending it to mid-Maine.
Right, to Auburn.
Yeah, and there's only, yes, we can provide you that information. I also just want to point out that KB Cog had a meeting recently with all the transfer station managers around. Tony was either doing something really nice on a cruise or he was hunting for something or whatever, but he wasn't here, so I went. And they're gonna collect information from all of the members that are willing to supply it to them, right? The municipalities that are part of KB Cog, to try to consolidate that same thing. They just produced a report, the same thing for like code officer fees and things like that. So they're starting to try to help us out because it's hard to collect, what is everybody else doing? And they're in a good position to help us with that. So they're gonna provide some of that information. Eco Maine, we have, as you mentioned, we have at your direction, I have told them that our agreement, at the end of our agreement, will terminate. All that means is that we've given them the necessary notice. So if the town doesn't want to deal with them anymore, then we won't have single sort recycling anymore and everything will just go in the trash. Right now we're at what, $50 a ton or something? What's the number right now for trash versus recycling?
Trash is 54 today. It's going to 71.
Right, it's going up.
We were paying 47. Now we're paying 54. It's going to 71.
And that's a deal for us because we're a member.
Correct.
And what's Eco Maine?
Eco Maine, I think, was 124
Yeah,
or
sounds-
129. I
Yeah.
think 124.
Right in that range, though.
A ton.
Why is that? I mean, they're burning this trash for energy.
10%.
No, Eco Maine is a single sort recycling.
I know, but I mean, mid-Maine. With
Right,
the,
okay.
We can,
I could give you all
Before- yeah.
the energy. So it's trash to energy. Don't think badly of me about what I'm gonna say, please. Trash to energy is getting 8 cents, 8.5 cents a kilowatt. Joe's solar field is getting 22 cents. So their contract and because this one's subsidized, this one's not.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. It's not a fair playing field.
because we've chosen to so there's a hierarchy with electricity
Green
generation.
energy.
And the state, the legislators have decided that things that are considered green, wind and solar panels are more important than other forms of energy. So they get a higher subsidy rate. So from a municipal perspective, I don't want to go too far into the weeds with this conversation, but our main waste to energy plant is I'm getting seriously concerned whether it's not going to go into receivership. It can't pay its bills. It can't do it. It's jacking up the rates on all of its members. It has no reserves. It has nearly $1 million in outstanding bills that it hasn't paid right at this moment. And if that thing goes away, this area of the state is going to look just like Bangor a couple of years ago. Remember when it was all in the newspaper? When what do they call themselves up there?
Mount Trashmore.
No, but they have a waste to energy facility that they kept trying to restart and all. I can't think of what theirs is called, but it's the same. We're heading for the same trajectory that Penobscot County has been dealing with 180 municipalities. We don't know all the information yet. I've been working sort of behind the scenes to make sure we're not going to get caught off guard, but Auburn is, the Auburn Council has made a choice to no longer pay their bills. because they feel that the financial situation of the plant is so dire that they feel they're throwing good money after bad at it. So I'm trying to find, we're all us managers that have to use this place, our trash has to go somewhere, right? You can't just throw it on the side of the road. But there is not a solution. And I think all of us have been, everybody that has worked around transfer stations for decades have said that the state is failing its responsibility, and it's once again, it's coming home to roost. We have no place to put our trash. The facility is not solvent, and it's going to be a problem. But in the short term, the trash is still going to go there because we're a member and we're required to send it there. But I just want to I'm not trying to, just throw a bomb on the table, but I just want to say that some of this stuff, as you start asking good questions, it starts becoming a more complicated issue. I think that right now, all that Tony and I are looking for is some direction about our own transfer station, and he's on the board of that facility, so he goes to those meetings and things like that, but it's not his fault. This has been coming for a long time, and we're all trying to figure out what to do, but I think that's a conversation for when we have some answers.
We're totally dependent on them to get rid of our
Yes,
junk.
absolutely. There's no question about that.
They're still functioning.
Yeah, it's still operational.
I think they were supposed to have. I think the goal was 11 million in reserve. They lowered the goal to 5 million so that at least they could fix stuff when it goes down. I think they have like $60,000. So if something goes bad,
Right.
Those big burners and stuff, there's a board meeting coming up. They scheduled it for a day that it snowed, so they moved it. And it's just, when can you get everybody together? Auburn pretty much is leading the charge on this because I think they're 65% of the total waste. So their cost is 65%. Between us and Wales, we're just a little small piece of Thanksgiving pie in the big chart, so.
Lewiston must go to them, right?
No, Lewiston does not.
No, Lewiston does not. Lewiston has a landfill.
Yeah, they
So
have a
Lewiston's like
municipal
Augusta.
landfill, yeah.
Well, that must be.
So Auburn is the one that has the most to lose here. So that's why I'm kind of saying, like, I just want to tell you that, but let's kind of leave that aside because they're in a better position, staff, expertise wise, everything to figure this out because they have the most to lose by a lot than the rest of us. We're all just small little peons that are paying in. I mean, it doesn't seem small to the Monmouth taxpayers, but in the amount that's being contributed to that operation, we're nothing.
We're hitching a ride.
Right, exactly. Auburn will fix it somehow.
So I've had some talks with Winthrop because they got a scale.
They go down there.
No. No, they don't either.
What?
Do they send their trash down there?
No,
No, they don't either, do they?
no.
No.
What do they do?
I don't know if this goes to Lewiston or where it goes. I don't know.
A landfill.
Yeah, I guess.
Most trash ends up in a landfill.
On the demo side of it, I think that we stuck our toe in the water just to see what there was. There was some kickback as to inviting us. There's been an election, some different bodies involved now, so the toe's back in the water on this, so maybe that can work out for us on demo. And then you've got you're truly paying for what you're trying to get rid of. We don't have, I mean, for us to put a scale in, quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
But if you guys have some suggestions or thoughts,
I'm of the mind that we should take a whole look at this schedule. I don't know if it's next meeting or, early January as part of the budgeting process, perhaps. And we should take a comprehensive look at everything. I mean, we've heard loud and clear, that folks are not happy with continued property tax increases and that we should be looking for every potential savings for folks. And if that means making sure that we've closed the doors to folks who are, disposing of trash for their cousins and uncles and whatever, from other towns perhaps, then either through procedures like insisting that they put it on a vehicle, the vehicle has a registration, the registration either is in Monmouth or it's not. The sticker belongs on a vehicle, not on a placard that can be handed to their cousin or uncle or whomever to go dispose of their mattresses. I mean, stuff like that, procedural things, as well as, looking at whether or not it makes financial sense for us to do single sort. Because we all know, like 10% of what we send to Eco Maine at 120 or 130 or 140 a ton. Well, no, it actually gets burned. They have their own waste to energy facility. So
It's called diversion is the way they. That's the nice term of it.
And I would say that, if we're gonna schedule a meeting, let's invite Eco Maine to come up and,
They can.
face the music.
Yep, and I think just to add to what to your point, because I think you're making some very good points there. Just to manage expectations, we can't overhaul and completely change the way that we're going to do the transfer station between now and when you have to approve your budget in April. There's no way we can't. We wouldn't even be able to come up with the numbers for you to have any educated guess. Sure. But if it's a path you want to go down, we can nibble around the edges on the things that you were just mentioning about the stickers and the demo cost and all that stuff. We can do that.
Exactly.
The big complication with Eco Maine, which will be a discussion for you before we formally withdraw from them, is I think it was 2024, maybe it was 2023, the legislature passed a law which requires big box retailers and those that spend out, so the Amazons, Walmarts of the world that send out that cardboard and all the packaging material, there's a fee that's attached to them. And a lot of that money, so the state put out an RFP just 6 months ago to select a entity that's going to manage those fees that are going to come back in. And there is a significant amount of money that will be generated by this fee that is then going to be refunded to any community that, responsibly disposes of the same material. So if we withdraw from our recycling commitments, we are then no longer eligible for that. And nobody knows the answer to that math. So we may want to drag our feet. I don't know. We kind of have to see how much money is going to be there. But that's what Eco Maine is leaning on right now with the communities that are saying the same thing we are, that, we could throw all your recycling stuff in for $60 a ton, which is exactly what I told their finance director, or I can pay you $125 for the same stuff. Why would I do that? He said, well, if you wait 2 years, the math might make more sense.
Maybe.
Okay.
But in the meantime, they're doing exactly what happens in Auburn, and we send a truck all the way to Portland.
Right. I understand the argument. I just want you to know that it's more complicated than just saying that at this point, because we don't know the fees that are going to be generated by the Amazons and Walmarts of the world that are shipping all this stuff around that they're now going to have to pay into a state fund, and then it's supposed to be reimbursed to towns to recycle. So I don't know what that's going to go, and I don't have any information for you, but I want to lay it on the table.
I would say if you guys have the appetite to invest some time and energy into a plan.
Yep.
It's time.
Okay.
So I've already been picking away at some of it because it does irritate me. I just don't like seeing money wasted. That's not me.
Well, and we also know that those trailers that you got, the compacting trailers are, near the end of their lives, and they cost a boatload of money to replace.
So we spent, I had to send somebody in 3 times this weekend to deal with trailers. One of them's 19 years old, one of them's 15, but we have not been cheated by those trailers.
Right.
Just a sidebar, the waste list that we have, I mean, I think we have way too many options. I think we need to consolidate that quite a bit. I think that's where I'd like to go. So I can get you an updated, what I think would be a reasonable shot at a price list. Just to give you an example. Insulation. You put it in a bag, it's $5. If you bring it in a trailer behind your car or truck, it's $20. Well, they unload the raw insulation into the dumpster. You know it's gonna rain the next day.
Yeah.
So that insulation, that would probably be 50 bags, they paid $20 for it. It weighs nothing until it rains. Now it weighs a lot. That's the kind of things that I think we need to adjust. You know, if our guys handling insulation, that's not what I want them doing, I guess. I would say, you know, I would say, if you want to bring insulation, no problem, bag it.
Well, and I also think, you know, this is an optimization problem. This isn't a subsidy or there, I mean, it is possible you could charge too much and create a problem, right? I mean, because I was here in the 80s and 90s when they were charging every last nickel at the transfer station. And there were tons of things, you know, tossed by the side of the road. Like, then someone had to go clean it up. Sometimes it was the town crew, sometimes it was a property owner, and it looked like crap. So,
Also understood that that's a definite part.
Yeah. yeah, so there's this happy medium that's somewhere in the middle, and we just need to make sure that we're not charging more, about the same as like our surrounding communities, so
Yeah,
that,
I would,
Yeah.
so there's no incentive for people to be irresponsible about stuff.
the whole piece of the puzzle. So any other questions on transfer?
No, thank you.
Love talking transfer. Back to the public works. We did a significant amount of brush grinding over the fall. We have a lot more now. My plan was in December, it's usually kind of slow. Got plenty of time, go do a bunch more. I mean, we have lists and lists of roads that this work needs to be done on. We have had probably not a whole handful of complaints, but 3 or 4. People don't understand what the right of way is. I'll go over to explain, okay? Your property doesn't start here, it starts back here. This is the road right of way. We have to maintain this. This is our responsibility. Haven't had anybody go further than that complaint. I just want you to know that that's one of the things that we're hearing. We definitely, we pay attention to where the right of way is and don't go past it. It's amazing how many rock walls there are and, some that haven't been seen in a long time, but we find them, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully your equipment's okay.
Starting off to a good start, so let's keep it that way. I mean, we've upgraded equipment and that definitely helps us. We had we did have a vehicle go down that was pretty expensive to fix, but that had to be done at the garage. I just got that bill, which was pretty hefty, but well within our budget, so.
Is the grader back?
Pardon me?
Is the grader back?
The grader is back. The grade has been, so people didn't like hearing, we can't grade the road, the grader broke down. Why didn't you fix it? Well, it didn't break down until we started grading the roads. Soon as that got back, we went out, we got them all graded. Right now, I think we're in pretty good shape. Now they froze up, so that's good. If you're good, I'm good. I will say, be careful driving.
Yeah.
It started raining.
Raining.
We're out treating the roads, but, till tomorrow morning, it might be a little tricky.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony. Be careful out there. Watch out for that Welch Avenue Maple Street corner.
Yeah, I didn't find it. I saw somewhere else.
Too many complaints, right, Tony, from the?
Too many.
Yeah.
Are you working now?
I followed the trucks up the road.
Okay.
Did you have another question?
You got a night ahead of you.
Yeah.
Well, I hope not. So,
Hopefully it's not.
let me give you another update quick. I'm sorry, Paul. Actually, I'm not. You've irritated me many times. What we try to do
These are all friends.
is get through the evening, 9 o'clock-ish. Send them home for a while. We come back at 3.
Yeah.
So there's a window there that we're not here. I always let the police know. Why do I do this? They came in this morning, 5:30, work all day, work all night. It's not safe tomorrow. So this whole thing is my mind's on safety, both for the traveling public and my guys, because you get tired out there, it's pretty rough. So they do a good job.
And how many pounds is in one of those vehicles with a
Oh, yeah.
plow or the sand in the back? And I mean, you can do some,
1,000 pounds going
you
down.
can do some serious damage.
So there's a window where we're not here. If the weather warrants that we be here, we'll be here. It's if you're having a nor'easter and you're gonna get 2 inches an hour, we're not going anywhere. We want the public safety to be able to get around, but, so all I've heard from my guys is, boy, we never did it this way. I said, well, this is how we're gonna do it while I'm here. And so far it's been good, because you'd be amazed of a 5-hour break, what that does for you. It's not a lot of sleep, but it's some sleep. I mean, I could tell them sleep in your truck, but that doesn't work. So, all right? I think,
You guys have done a good job.
thank you.
Yeah.
And I let them know that.
Yeah.
We get. So you remember way back when I just started with the big Pease Hill
Yes.
issue? So we've gotten emails now. Thank you for this. Good job here. Thanks again. So, when you explain it to them and then you actually go do stuff, you get a positive response. So, I mean, in our world, we don't get a lot of thank you and attaboys, but I let them know when we do get one. And Paul's a citizen of the town of Monmouth, so.
For the time being.
Good night.
Thanks, Tony.
Tony. Good evening.
You take less time than Tony did?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
I'm just joking. Take you some time.
Sunday, we had our department get together, Christmas party at Fish and Game, and I'd like to thank Fish and Game for letting us hold it out there. It's a perfect location. We had about, what do you say, 40, 50 people down?
Good 40.
40 people there. Good turnout, good get together. Just celebrating a little downtime with each other and yucking it up and talking about stuff other than police work
And eating.
and eating good food. Absolutely. Donna is our arrangement expert, and she does a good job of pulling all that together, making it a good time for everybody. So thank you, Donna, for that. Most of you know by now that Kirk Bachman is leaving Monmouth PD, coming to work over in Winthrop. Plan is, starting January, Zach Roy has his hours back, from the academy. He's got 1,040 hours he can work, that's roughly 6 months of work. So he's agreed to come back and work as a reserve, full-time reserve until his hours are up or until we fill that position or until he passes the physical fitness so he can go to catch. Those are the options that were given to him, so I'm hoping that he can pull it together, get that. His only problem is the run. He struggles with the run. I'm in hopes that he can get beyond that because Zach is a damn good officer and the community likes him. He does a good job out there. And I'd like to reward that, that work ethic he has and personality. And if he can get past the run, we'll give him that opportunity. I think we owe that to him. He's worked hard for us. That being said, January 5th is the date Kirk is coming over to Winthrop, and January 5th is the date Zach will be starting for us.
Did you want to say anything tonight, or should I, about our kind of our next steps for the PD consolidation discussions?
Yeah, you can, we met last week. One of the days I did decide to work last week, that's a vacation. Before Thanksgiving. The two town managers and myself sat down, just to discuss the next process in the consolidation and, where we're headed, what our next steps are. And once we put all that together, then we'll have a better idea on where we're heading, whether it's feasible, whether it's not, whether it's gonna work out. And it all comes down to the money issue. And where that falls and how we break it up. And I think going forward, we're gonna present a budget this year that is done the same way that we've done it for years. And use the 26, 27 timeframe to organize going forward, how we're gonna do it, what the costs are gonna be, and come back to you with a clearer picture on where we're at.
Yeah, I think where you okay, can I interject here? I think where we are is the, it's our forms of government don't allow us to kind of make decisions at the same time. So Winthrop can do whatever it wants. It has a council, so their council can consolidate, change their budget. They can do everything. Here, we don't work like that. So our timeline doesn't really work to kind of run the process out. So I think the consensus is at this point is that Monmouth and Winthrop are going to build their budgets for this coming year as though they're separate, but still ask the same question. Obviously, Winthrop doesn't have to ask the question. The council can just do it whenever they want, but this town needs to ask the question to its voters. So but we also have to have a backup plan if that were to fail. So we have to still have the same amount of money in the budget as though it consolidates or doesn't. It doesn't make any difference. And what the chief was alluding to is the thought would be is if the consolidation is approved, that the newly formed police commission would do its due diligence to create those consolidated budgets that made sense and then develop a cost sharing agreement and all of those things, because it's really hard to do that until you know whether the towns are going to do it and how that's all going to work, right? So we have a cost sharing agreement for Chief Ferlin, but it doesn't necessarily mean that the next chief is going to, have the same benefits, make the same amount of money. Is he going to be he's a Monmouth employee, but you could be a Winthrop employee. There's a lot of factors that need to be worked out. And the cost sharing agreements, which the chief also manages for some other things like dispatch and those things, they're complicated. It has a component of residents and past usage and all that, and it would be better, I think it's more appropriate, in my opinion, and I think Anthony and I think the chief and I are trying to work through this. It seems more appropriate that that police commission, which will then become the experts in the governing body of a, if the towns agree to consolidate, that it makes more sense for them to work out how that's all gonna go, instead of just trying to speculate right now about, you know, because you can go into the weeds, right, Chief? I mean, I don't want to lay too many details on the table, but you could go way out into the weeds and say that every time a Winthrop police detective or their K-9 unit, which we also don't have, crosses the town boundary, that they're going to charge us for every hour. I mean, if somebody wanted to create some type of a disaster like that, that could happen. But I think it's better for the commission to figure out what's the fair thing and have their expertise, the people that get into the weeds, figure out what's the easiest and best way to do it. Is that fair?
Yes.
Will the commission have, like, maybe I'm jumping too far ahead. Will they have a law enforcement background?
No, the commission is gonna be made up of a representative from this table, representative from the council in Winthrop, both town managers,
Some public members
public at large from both communities.
and obviously the chief as an ex officio kind of
Right.
provide, if you will, he'd be the staff, like I'm the staff to you, he'd be the staff to that commission.
That's what we're basically at right now, and we will be getting more information. We gotta get our committee back up in line and back online and going, so we can get them back informed into where we're at now that we sat down and worked some of the numbers out. Just present to the consolidation committee where we're at, where we're going, and get some direction from them.
And once we get a little more of that stuff done, heading into our June election, my recommendation would be that the chief and I and the town manager, both myself and Anthony from Winthrop, and he's committed to doing this, that there needs to be some very heavy public outreach, some public meetings. And I think that this community reacts well when we have public meetings that are like put in Cumston Hall, things like that. People feel like it's more of a serious back and forth. I think that's a nice venue to kind of, where the chief and I and Anthony can sit there and just kind of field questions about how this might work and what are you concerned about? I think we really have to do that, because this is we wouldn't be the first, but and I don't want to call us a trailblazer because it's happened in a few communities, but we would be one of a few that would have, if it succeeds, been able to pull it off, right? Because we're
Third or fourth.
Yeah.
And there are other agencies that are going through the same process we're going through right now, so.
It's going to happen more and more and more. It's just, when are you going to do it? And I think we have a unique opportunity at this time under Chief Furlong's leadership to get this done, to get it over the fence. And I think it's going to be better for both communities, not only long-term success of the agency, but just community cooperation, hiring practices, being part of the Winthrop Police Department creates an opportunity to have a fully certified police department, which we will never really be able to have in a town this. Am I saying things that you don't want me to say?
And Winthrop is in the middle of an accreditation program, so it would.
Right, that's what I mean. Yeah, the accreditation program.
Accreditation that we can't do ourselves.
Right. Not that our officers aren't trained, it's just that you can't rely on reserves to be a nationally accredited police agency. That's the fair? So you have to have enough people so that when someone calls out sick, you're not calling in a green pen or whatever to work. So there are a lot of things to discuss. I just wanted to just make sure that we keep putting that out there, because it's going to be a big decision for the community. Thank you, Chief, and thank you for,
Last night, we had our tabletop exercise for the school crisis plan. Everybody was at the table last night, went through the process, what everybody's gonna be responsible for. Started out with our dispatch supervisor presenting an issue. And then we went around to all the agency heads, to discuss what their roles and responsibilities are in the event of a crisis in the community. And when I say crisis in the community, I'm explicitly talking about our schools. We invited the superintendent from whatever, from the school down here, the old Charles School.
Yes,
He's been sitting in the last few meetings with us, 'cause he's trying to put together a plan. And he didn't know how to do it, so I said, sit together with us and you'll learn, and that's it. Once you get your policies in place, then we will sit down, the PD, and then we'll sit down and work out a plan for their school. But it's gonna be much the same as what we're doing with our public schools, just in reverse.
I was gonna tease him that you forgot Rick Amaro's name, but then
Oh,
he was
yeah.
talking about somebody else, so. Yeah.
But anyway, no, Rick called out sick last night. He had auditor stuff, and budget stuff to do for the RSU too, which is more important to him than sitting around the table here. He had good people here anyway, so. Both schools were represented with their principals. Winthrop Ambulance was here, Monmouth Fire Department was here, Winthrop Police was here, Winthrop Dispatch was here, I was here. So everybody who needed to be here was here to go through that tabletop and work out. The purpose of it is to work out bugs, anticipate problems, going forward. We were able to determine there are some issues that we had to deal with. Now we go back and we revamp that plan. Fix those issues that we had, address them, and then we'll meet again and do the same thing again. And our goal is to work towards an event at one of the schools, with no students involved, but with the teachers involved, to run through a mock simulation. So the teachers are exposed and understand what their responsibilities are if an event were to occur. The schools actually 2 weeks ago did a mock drill where they evacuated the schools and they went to their respective zones, areas where the Memorial School went down to the old Cottrell School. All the students went down there, so all the students know in case of emergency, they know that's the point where they're going to. All the kids from the high school went to Public Works, because they know that's a collection point. That's where they meet in case of a crisis. So it just kind of familiarizes the students, and they will do this on a yearly basis as new students come in, so that everybody's acclimated and know where to go in case of an emergency. This plan, once we everybody at the table endorses this plan, endorses the policy, then it will be a yearly revisit, to update anything that needs to be updated, any law changes, any policy changes within the school. So it's a moving machine all the time that we have to keep up on. My two lieutenants were here because at some point when I'm no longer here, they've got to understand that this process needs to continue. That cycle needs to continue every year to keep that policy fresh. Because that's what happened in the past is the policy was started, it was never completed, and here we are 10, 15 years later, reestablishing it because it is so important in today's environment. Make sure you have that policy, that procedure in place, so everybody understands what they're doing, what their needs are, what they need to be doing, and keep moving forward with it. keep building on it, and because as we all know, sitting around that table and putting this plan together, everything may look hunky-dory, everything may look grand. But something's gonna fail. But the fact that we have a plan in place, it may be flawed in an area or two, but we have a plan, and it's better than not having a plan at all. At least we have something to work with, and moving forward, we'll just keep improving on it. Any questions about that?
Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome.
I know it's been a long, project, right? Since.
That's been, because Dana took 10 months off, to slow the process down. But thank God he's back and he's doing good, and he's very well appreciated. Glad to have him back.
And I appreciate you thanking him for that, because that is not an easy lift. Like, this is an incredible amount of work that the chief and his people and everybody around the table has put in. He started it and is gonna finish it, I think, because he's not allowed to retire until it's all done.
Well, I just started the one in Winthrop too, so
Oh,
we're
there
just
you
getting
go.
that ball rolling with the.
Good, so he'll be around another decade then.
You around.
It was prior to the Lewisburg shooting, it was the school shooting and
Uvalde,
involvement,
when I started.
Yeah.
like 4 years ago, 3 years ago.
I had another thought. I read it and then I forgot it. Really?
Who else doesn't have?
Time. That's why I.
See me scribbling on this, it's all the ideas I have that I gotta write down as soon as I
It
think of.
gets lost.
I think I mentioned this at one of the other meetings that Winthrop and Monmouth has been recognized by University of Maine at Augusta for their 100% completion ratio of officers that have attended the community policing course. There's a semester course, 40-hour course. They recognized us at the Chiefs meeting down in Auburn a month and a half ago, each agency got a plaque. Our plaque is gonna be put up in the entrance of PD, as well as Winthrop is gonna be put up in the entrance of their PD. But on December 15th, which is this coming Monday night, UMA and the president of the Maine Community Policing Association is going to be recognizing us at the Winthrop Town Council. The president of the UMA is going to be addressing the council. At the same time, we're gonna get Kirk sworn in as a Winthrop officer that night as well. So anybody who would like to attend that, I would welcome them to come over and support. Paul Monmouth PD is gonna be there as well. And then at that point, we're gonna try to get the same thing scheduled for over here to recognize our Monmouth officers for their diligence in completing that course. So hats off to the officers for going through this course. The course, it was an expensive course. One of the key elements of these officers going through is that they actually were given credit for their time at the academy, their 18 weeks at the academy, and other trainings by taking that one course, that community policing course, they actually earned 18 credits through UMA. We had this foundation for Harold Alphon Foundation paid for half of the cost of the course, and the town picked up the rest of the cost of the course. So we ended up paying somewhere in the ballpark of $3,000, $3,200 for our side of that. But if you break that down by credit hours, that's pretty cheap for 4 officers to get 18 credits. So
They
that's
can
all.
use for whatever they, you know, if they so desire, they could, those would be credits applied to whatever they will do in the future. Yep.
Chief, when did you say the gathering was?
December 15th to 6 o'clock at the Winthrop Council Chamber.
Monday night, right?
Yeah,
Monday night.
Yes. So I'm proud of the men and women in both departments for taking time out of their schedule and taking this course, passing the course. Everybody did an excellent job according to the registrar from the UMA. So at the meeting we had Sunday, the get together we had Sunday, I passed out framed certificates, everybody's certificate from that course. I had them framed just because I was proud of their accomplishments.
Yeah, it's something to be proud of. And again, another initiative by the chief that's just trying to make his people better.
Yeah, just working towards trying to get those younger officers who haven't finished up their college degrees, trying to get them the incentive to do that, because obviously they finish up that degree, they get a little more money in their paycheck. And, these younger kids are just starting families and a little extra pay goes a long way nowadays.
Yep. And it's great that it's through the university main system, because the Maine Municipal Association is also partnered with them. So you get, there's a discounted rate for municipal employees to do anything that's related, anything that's tangentially related to their employment. They get a discounted tuition rate, and that's a great benefit that the University of Maine system has given to municipal employees. But it's a big initiative, and so you kind of tie that stuff with something else, and somebody can get, you know, a little further ahead without having to
And it allows them to.
die in debt.
If
like
they have to, they can matriculate the credits they have now into the UMA program, or take those 18 credits from UMA and matriculate them into the program they're already working.
Correct.
So,
Correct. It's an awesome, really awesome thing.
And while you're here, I will say I'm sad that Kurt's gonna go next door, but I have to say that through everything he did with the incident at my mother's house at the end of September, because of the police work he did and everything and how that ended up, there was a plea and somebody went to jail, and it was, and his follow-up and his care and concern has meant the world to my mother, so.
Yeah, one of the things with Kirk is Kirk has an affinity for the elder in our community. Not saying that your mother is, I wouldn't.
Be careful. She'll let you drive up here right now.
She was the judge in his place.
No, just saying.
Judge in his place at the plea, at the hearing, so she got the judge to understand her too.
Kirk has an affinity for the elderly in our community, and does the Meals on Wheels on Wednesday, and that is going to be missed, but I have no doubt that will step up to the plate until he.
What's Zach's last name?
Roy.
Oh,
But I just wanted you to know how much we appreciate everything Kirk did.
When that report went into the DA's office, the district attorney actually called us and said that the report that he submitted was excellent, and that is the reason why this guy took the plea, because of the work.
Yeah.
Hats off to him for that.
Yeah.
You got a good crew here. You got a good law enforcement crew here. People that really care. They're hardworking. And I can't thank them enough for what they do all day. Any other questions? Thank you.
thank you.
Not bad, you tied Tony.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that, but we kind of went down a couple rabbit holes.
Yeah, it's mostly my fault, so. Yeah, so I have a couple of things. I have one thing that I'm supposed to do according to the ordinance, so I'm gonna read off all of the people from the 2025 resident property tax assistant people, the people that received these. This is a town ordinance that allows them to get some money back to reduce their property tax burden. So Ron, I'm supposed to read this to you every year. You don't have to take any action on it, but I'm supposed to read it out loud. Rodney and Patricia Boubier, Maurice Cloutier, Sharon Wheeler, Rachel Price, Sheila Brown, David and Nancy Lewis, Pauline Pelletier, Maurice Vachon, Jean Coltart, Catherine McDonald, Joyce Legacy, Terry Whittier, Michael Raymond, Sandra Davis, Raymond Wing, Ralph Burnham, and Kenneth Paleski. Paleski. Yeah, thank you. I always need help. A lot of people to know. That's the name. 17 were approved for a total of $8,500. The town approves $10,000 a year for this thing, and 2 were denied. That's that. Then I have few things to go through. I saw Chris and Kent at the Cumpston Hall Christmas lighting. I think Dennis did a great job over there. It was a fun thing to go to. I took a few people through the building afterwards because Dennis was busy and they didn't know where they were going. So I did my best. I couldn't find all the light switches, but you know.
Not that we were gonna bring that up.
What?
Not that we were.
No, we're gonna bring that up. But I did mention to Dennis that next year we probably should have a little bit more of a plan for just trying to make sure that the people that want to walk around have, or can be escorted by somebody that knows more than me. The LED lighting project that we've been talking about for a while, they called today to see if they could start at the Public Works building on Monday ahead of schedule. Tony is willing to accommodate that, so we're going to see how that all goes, but that will be where we start, and I'll bring you more information about that as we go along. The DOT, the VPI, or the Village Partnership Agreement about Main Street. I have coordinated a meeting between Tony and Rob Prue. Rob Prue is the engineer of record on the project to represent the town. So he'll have to work with DOT. Tony and him have worked previously, albeit it won't be not in this type of collaboration before, but Rob Prue was also the engineer of record on the Beaver Brook project. So I thought it's just important for the three of us to sit down in a room and so Rob's going to come up next week so that Tony and him can become friends because they're going to have to deal with all that down there. Grover, the Grover Street. Everybody here knows where that is.
Of course.
Okay, so that house just listed for sale last week. It was actually brought to my attention by the fire chief, but it doesn't matter. I've had a conversation with the realtor that's representing that client. There's nobody living in it. It's vacant. And this is something that the town has sort of had on the back burner for a long time. The bridge that gets you, that is a town bridge. And
Can we get, just so that everyone can get up to speed where Grover Street is? Grover Street is
Between Curly's
Yeah.
and the dial office.
right. And it's all along that say Curly. I don't know what that is, but
it's an alley about this one.
Yeah.
And that alley has a bridge that crosses the stream.
Right, and it used to go around, and also there was another bridge that went to Maple Street, was my understanding, in the days of whoever.
Yeah.
So
It's a town way.
it is a townway and has been a thorn in our side because we are responsible for keeping it.
Correct. The bridge itself, we estimate to be between $250,000 and $300,000 to replace. It is in dire need of attention, but it services a home that is significantly less valuable than the bridge would cost to replace. So anybody can, I'm trying to So, but nobody lives there right now. They have moved out of state. So this is like the town's opportunity to maybe
Once in a
change its
40-year
posture.
opportunity.
Yeah.
Do we know if that falls into the downtown TIF district?
It does.
Do we know if TIF money could be used?
I called Tina Mullins who's the person at DECD that decides these things.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, as soon as I found out. And her initial reaction was that if the easiest thing for us to do would be to make some type of a public trail through it because we have trail money in our thing. But she is working on what she can do within the language and she has promised to call me back. She just needed more information. And I'm a little bit at a disadvantage because Reagan has been, as you probably know, she's been indisposed due to a medical condition. So I'm trying to work with DECD instead of her doing it for us. And she's more knowledgeable than me. So we are working on that, but something may have to happen sort of quickly. And I'm also trying to figure out how to make all that work too, because again, we're not a council town. You can't spend money that the taxpayers, so I don't want to say it, but.
Another special.
Yeah. I know, I hate it so bad, but sometimes these things kind of pop up and you can only deal with it. This is a generational sort of change for that area and I don't know what else to do. So I'm.
$89,000.
So you want to jump on it quick because someone else will, and then we're going to be responsible for the bridge.
$70,000
So promise you, I'm doing everything that I can at the speed that I'm capable of getting you some answers. But we may have to have, more discussion about that. But I just wanted to lay it on the table because you're entitled to know what I'm trying to do here. But I'm trying to come up with a solution that's palatable financially and makes sense for, the next 100 years. Because if we build a bridge to nowhere, which is basically what it is, what's that? Right, it's a very small, so,
And it's a landlocked parcel.
Yes.
yes,
Bridge is the only access.
yes. Prior to me knowing that the people were selling it and moving out of it, I've already been working on getting an appraisal to try to use the land that's behind the fire station museum to give them a different access to their home so that we didn't have to fix the bridge. So this has been something that's been on my radar for a long time. So I promise I'm doing the best I can at the speed of light here. And it's hard sometimes when you're, you have to discuss everything in public because I'm giving away what I'm trying to do. And at the same time, there could be people, But anyway, that's 4.
Excellent.
5, I just wanted to say that Susan Collins has directed the Northern Borders Group, which I think you're aware of, to support another $1 million of funding for the North Monmouth Water Project, which is just unbelievable. I thought this would be a 10-year thing, and I can't believe the amount of money that's been able to be raised in such a short amount of time. So it's just one step further, and with that last notch, according to Dan Wells, it looks like now they have sufficient pledges and money on hand that they can move to an actual design development stage, which would be to hire somebody to actually design the piping. So that could be huge for that, for the people that live over there.
And so the thinking there is that by having a shovel-ready design in hand, that when Susan Collins, as chair of the budget committee, finally gets a budget that goes through the standard process in DC, she's pledged to earmark the remaining funding that would be necessary, something like 3.5 million.
So it'd be incredible. It'd be an $11 million project that's been cobbled together by all the hardworking people in a year, 12 months? Something?
Well,
Has it even been that long?
we started, the idea was basically when ARPA money came out.
Yeah.
Back in 2020.
Right, the seed money, right?
That was the beginning.
Yeah, it's just been, it's absolutely incredible in my mind that this has been able to be pulled off. So I congratulate everybody.
Dan Wells is retired.
I do. Yep. He's all done at the end of the month. Yeah, because he's becoming the this isn't a bad thing. It's just that when someone's trying to leave, they don't want to leave any loose ends. So he's a pester to me, like every day. It's like, I need you to sign this form. I need you to do this, because he doesn't want to leave a mess for whoever takes over. And I appreciate that, but yeah. But anyway, so I get to there. 6, I have, so the longtime recreation department, if you will, director for the town of Winthrop has announced a retirement, which is a long time from now. It's the December of next year. But that has that, and he's and as you know, in Winthrop, the rec is run through the Winthrop Y, which is that's the whole thing. It doesn't matter for this discussion, but knowing that Anthony, the town manager, and Winthrop has reached out, and we have sort of begun conversations about what it is that we might be able to do together and all that stuff. And the real reason that I'm mentioning it tonight is not just to say that out loud. It's because he has included a memo to his council in his packet tonight that says that me and him have started these conversations. So I don't want you to be blindsided by it, but we have no idea where it's going. I just want you to know that it's like, anytime there's an opportunity. So the guy that has, yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, he's been there for what, 40 years? Yeah. So this is an opportunity for Winthrop to make, transformational change to the way they've done things, and, you never know. So you might as well just talk about it. That's all. Just wanted you to know, because I believe it's in there. No, it's not this week. It must be next Monday, right? That's when they meet. So it's going to be in their packet for their next Monday meeting. I just wanted to. Yeah, there you go. The meeting okay, there we go. I think I said this at the last meeting, but I just want to reiterate it. I have a contract for the appraisal for the Wilson Pond parking lot, which is the boat launch over there. It's a requirement of the state grant. So we'll see where that goes. I've also amended the state grant so that we can, because the guy can't get it done timely. So but the state agreed to amend the contract to make it longer so that we could do it, because everybody knows that's a worthy project. The Annabessic Brook Dam project that we've kind of been talking about, they're also willing, the state is also willing to extend our time frame for our initial grant for that project. We have an engineer who's willing to help us with it.
That turned out to be Acadia.
Yeah, I can look it up for you if you want. I have it on my phone now. Sorry, I didn't write it down. And they have had conversations with Wendy and I, and they're going to give us a proposal to meet what Wendy thinks, who's the water person for the Cobbessy watershed, because she knows more about this than I do, to try to amend what it was, because he didn't really know what it was that we were asking for, and my ignorance of the whole what needs to happen is probably obvious to him. So Wendy helped me with figuring that out. So we're going to bring a proposal back. I don't think it's going to be of any significant cost at this point, but I just want everybody to know that we're still chugging ahead here. We have all the information. We get this new proposal. I'll bring it to you. I'll let you guys decide, but hopefully we can just kind of keep chugging this forward so that we're eligible to have, some stuff to present for the next round of funding. And Anthony and I have been in constant conversation about the next time one comes up that my expectation from him is that they're going to support doing some type of a joint partnership. And obviously his council can do whatever they want to do, but I've said and I think he's on board with at least presenting that idea to them. I think they admitted in our meeting, I mean, it was different council, right, Kathleen? We were there and they said, what? Yeah, when you guys get further along, we'll pay for half or whatever, right? Or whatever it was, right? Isn't that kind of what they
That was
said?
that they indicated, it wasn't an official vote.
Right, I know, but is that fair enough?
Yeah.
Just say, yeah, I mean, it's not an untrue assertion, but who knows what they'll do now.
Hey, does the new engineer cost is that gonna fit within what's remaining to be spent from that $50,000?
Yes, yep. So I'm trying to figure out in clever ways how to use the remainder of that funding, because what we kind of did was we had an expectation that the old vendor, the old engineering firm would kind of give us more product. And I think as I've said previously, they kind of like did they did a couple parts and then they kind of said, yeah, we're out, right? So they didn't charge us very much though for what they did. So there's still probably 25,000 in state money sitting there, but I'm just trying to figure out how to use that to the best of Monmouth's advantage, knowing that the grant only funds so many phases of the project. So I'm trying to figure out how I can keep as much of that as possible and, get us further along without, doing anything that's contrary to what we were awarded. That makes sense? My last thing that I wanted to say was that Mike Griswold went and met with Rick Amaro at the school department. And I'm very happy to say that he now has a key access card to all of the buildings.
Holy moly.
So for rec programs, he can get into the schools without having to ask a school employee to let him in. So I just wanted to say that because I think that's another sort of thing when you have a full-time employee, there's a little more trust there between entities and all that. But I just wanted to sit, I wanted to get a laugh, so I think I got one.
I've got a cruise.
Huh?
I've got a cruise.
Yeah. But I think that's a real good thing. That means that now somebody can get in and, to use the gym or whatever.
Well, and I had seen that, he had screen printing done for cheer t-shirts for rec. And I was like, okay, so where's the rec cheer gonna take place since, last year they asked to use the Fish and Game, and then they asked about this building, because where were they gonna do it? So I assume that now that means that perhaps they're using the school. I don't know.
I'm not, I can't ask,
Yeah.
I can't answer exactly where they're doing that, but this opens up a whole new world for Monmouth to be able to get into the schools here.
Of course, and I think there are 3 members that are school employees on the new rec committee. So.
Correct.
That's helpful.
Correct, like Wade Morrill and, people like that, right? So.
They already have access.
Right, they already had it, but now there's somebody other than
A school employee.
a teacher or somebody like that now can get into the building. So I just think that's kind of something worth mentioning.
Exactly, for sure.
They're not totally obtuse. I think they just want to make sure that it's not just like a volunteer or somebody that can.
Yeah,
Fortunately, it's Rick.
yes, and Rick, too, of course.
Yes. Who he's been fantastic for me. I mean, me and you went over there and he has opportunities for the town managers that are part of his thing to go over to their not their town office, but the school department building, and we can ask questions and stuff like that. Like he's been really great to work with. So I have no critiques. I think that's it for me. Unless you have questions, of course.
Audit data transmittal.
Yes, so we have been working diligently. So Mark has had a series of questions that we have answered. And as far as I know, Mark has transmitted, either has or will very shortly. I'm a little hesitant to say because of Thanksgiving and then we're heading into Christmas and everything. But I think Mark has all the information that he needs to submit the pre-audit to the auditor, so that they can begin their work. And then after that, I'll have to give you more updates about when RKO thinks they can do anything.
All right, can you get back to us at the next meeting with what our KO is saying?
Absolutely. If the data is transmitted, I certainly will. If not, I will say that Mark hasn't sent it yet, and I will get back to you at the next one.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm being honest. I'm trying to tell you.
Our next meeting is in January.
Yeah.
I know that, but
Yeah.
we're also, Christmas, New
Christmas.
Year's, like, people don't work.
This is the time of year that.
You can't get anything done.
Any business done is
Healthcare
almost
starts.
impossible.
But, that's my follow-up here. And the way that I'm gonna do this, Kent, because you requested it and the board agreed, is what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a little thing on the agenda. And I'm gonna tell Jessica personally what it is that you folks have asked me to do for the following meeting or whatnot. So what I will do is I'm gonna write this stuff down and give it to her, because it's very hard for her to try to determine what it is that you're asking me to do, because I'm her boss. So she doesn't want to put a whole bunch of tasks so is that an acceptable sort of way to do it? So this is going to be number one. I'm going to write down, follow up with, report back on whether Mark has sent information to RKO. I'll make that sound better on the thing, but does that work for you?
Yeah.
Because this is a new, I'm just trying to make sure that you're all in agreement. That's how you want to treat that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Can you put number 2?
Yeah,
The,
absolutely.
From the foreclosed properties that went for sale, when we know that we signed purchase and sale agreements on, I even forget how many we did, 1, 2, but
Yeah, we did
anyway,
a couple.
and then one was sold and paid,
Correct.
by the owners.
Yep.
And then I think there were 2 others. So I think one's still listed, and my question was about the other. So just
Right,
kind of
you
a
did
follow-
mention.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
If we
an
follow
update on those.
on
Yeah,
those foreclosed properties that were listed with the Realtor.
And this is just a question, not a follow-up. Where do we stand cash flow wise and with the revenue anticipation note that we have outstanding?
we're okay with cash. There's about 3 million in the account as of the last statement that I received. Obviously, that fluctuates every time I think something goes out. But we're back into a pretty steady holding position. What we're trying to work through right now is we still have there is about $250,000 sitting in it's not old, it's still a town account, but it's at Bangor Savings Bank. That is ARPA money. So what we're trying to do, it was in the ARPA account, but while the ARPA money was getting paid out, it was just being paid out of the general checking account. So what needs to happen, that doesn't mean anything is wrong. It just means those journal entries have to happen. So right now we're trying to reconcile those with everything that's going on. So once that's done, we'll have a clearer picture about how much money we can start throwing at that TAN. I think that's what you're asking about, right?
So it's still at like $600,000-ish.
Yeah, we haven't paid any of it back.
Okay. But so it's $600,000 outstanding at a 5%-ish interest rate.
Yep, yeah, I think it's 4.75.
Okay.
Yep, that's correct. And we're earning about 4.65 just on our general checking. So even our non-investment money is earning almost what we're paying out.
Okay, so
It's getting pretty close.
it's
So
pretty close. It's not a wash.
right, it's not a wash. It's just that it's not costing as much as,
As we thought.
yeah. I hope so, geez.
Mr. Chair, did you just?
We gotta get you guys out of here.
I know. 2 more minutes and you'll tie coding it. Oh, that's public comment.
Select board reports.
Oh, excuse me, yes, I skipped.
Boy.
Hey, reports.
If you want to get us out of here, just skip that one.
I had a question about the RSU withdrawal. Kayla had said if we were to withdraw, we would have like $1 million a year payment.
It was close to that.
Yeah. it was
What,
over that.
what is that for? Is that like we're buying the school back from the RSU?
Yeah.
Because the school was paid for through the state funding, so there was no debt.
90% though. There's a portion that the RSU had to pay.
The 10% is what we're still paying off. So
Okay.
starting in the new year, I wanted to set up meetings with the person in Richmond and then someone in Winthrop to talk about possibly consolidation. But I figured people wouldn't want to meet right before Christmas. So I was like, I'll wait till January to start reaching out to people just to figure out, is Richmond happy with their decision? Because it's costing them more. If there's even a conversation to be had with Winthrop, if they'd be willing to do that, because I really think that we're going to have to do the consolidation route. Enrollment's dropping across the state and our kids are losing resources. So I think that it'd be the most beneficial thing to both towns.
Right, it's as I think you would agree with me, is when you start having these discussions and you start looking at how the school funding formula works. So some of it's, a big chunk of it's the school, but there's also just the reality that if you yank Monmouth out of the school funding formula, it has all kinds of implications about how many kids that we have that are in. I think Monmouth has a high number of kids that are
extra resources.
special needs and whatever they call it now. So there's a whole bunch of that stuff that washes through the funding formula. And when you see it on this complicated spreadsheet, nobody understands it until somebody that actually does it looks at it and tells you this is.
When they showed us the numbers. we were
They could explain it.
About $750,000 a year. It wasn't like official numbers, but
Right.
those were like the rough numbers that they did, which is wild to think of, that we could potentially have to pay that additional amount per year plus take on the debt of the school. So I think if we, depending what route we went, if we were to consolidate, there'd be then an opportunity for, maybe the high school becoming a different type of community center and using Winthrop's high school, because they don't use an entire wing from what I understand. And so I think that these are some much larger discussions to be had, and it's a lot of potential.
Right, and it's fascinating because they built into their model sort of an assumption that we would be able to hire a superintendent, a bus director, and all this stuff at 60% of what they were getting paid right now. So they were being very conservative on the, right, the superintendent isn't going to, you're probably not going to get a superintendent to work for 60% of what the current one is. So, right, so when you start adding that stuff back in, it may even be worse than the number that they showed us. May cost even more, I guess, is the best way. It's not worse, but.
Okay.
Is that? Yep. Okay.
I have a public service announcement on behalf of a constituent who, when you're starting to talk about transfer station changes, it was suggested to me that we should look at the traffic flow and safety issues with people backing right up to the trash dumpster where people are trying to walk through. My public service is done.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yep. I have some good news. We had a little celebration gathering from the Trails Committee because we were awarded $200,000 from the bond money that was came through the legislature a year ago.
Yeah,
And
congratulations to your committee and all that.
people are super excited. This is the trail that will be created behind the schools in collaboration with the RSU, which is also making contribution to the seed money that gets it going. And folks are are ecstatic and now starting to talk very excitedly about implementation plans.
Right, and I think if you give me just, I think that this could be an opportunity to kind of like put Monmouth on the map too with this program, because the director, this is the first round of funding that they've ever done. And they are thrilled that I think that it's a school, town, everybody can use it type thing. And it's gonna be like the poster child for, I think, what the program, and this is a brand new state program. So it really is the poster child. So maybe we can use that to some type of, advantage for publicity or whatever, but that's all I want to say.
Sure, and the Trails Committee is sort of thinking that this is a backbone trail, that it could be extended in a number of directions, either to this development down here on Main Street, or potentially, down to the Quick Shop, and then connect to sidewalks down there. It really, I think, has the opportunity to turn into a win-win. And also potential cost savings, because if we're using this trail in lots of different ways, it could potentially mean we don't have to build sidewalks at some point in the future if that particular development on Main Street, expands. So there's a potential there for some infrastructure savings, because we get them off the road and we don't have to deal with people walking on the sidewalk next to high-speed traffic. So $200,000.
It's real exciting.
Yeah.
The rec committee met on Monday and we started working on the beach ordinance. It's gonna take a few more meetings. So we started looking at events and what we charge for that. And then also what the past situation will look like. And that's what we're gonna focus on at the next meeting. And then we're also gonna work on the rules and stuff. And then we'll bring that back to the board for approval, or if it needs to go back to the committee. But
Yeah, some of that stuff is exciting too. I mean, Mike likes to talk a lot like I do, so he comes in and takes a lot of my time, but he's excited to kind of be working through the rec committee thing and trying to figure out what we're gonna do next summer. And I think there'll be a lot of conversations, I think, with the rec committee, but it will then obviously be brought back here through the budget process. So you guys will see all this stuff, but
there's discussion about the swim program and what the potential costs and stuff are. And I did mention that, we are gonna be working on the town budget soon, so we don't want to jump the gun with that. So.
Right.
Anything else? Next is public comment. Yes, sir.
Oh, come on.
You can put number 3. You can put down number 3 if you want. You have 3 minutes.
I won't take 3 minutes. Now, I just want to know if there's any update on the ATV road use through the DOT yet.
No. No, because,
What's next, taking the,
well, it's not just DOT anymore, right? So the letter that needed to be sent from the trail.
gone?
Right, I know it's gone, but it didn't go to DOT. It went to agriculture, whatever. So we've got 2 major state agencies that apparently have to cooperate to make any of this stuff happen. So you know where that's going.
I'll bring it up again in January.
Yeah. I do know your frustration. It's just that
In the meantime, if you have a low-speed vehicle that meets all the requirements, you go at it, buddy.
Okay. There first.
there's a 6-page email from the chief that tells you what you have to do to get it.
I did a nice ride down Main Street the other day. I had trail signs, maintenance on my ATV right down Main Street. Nobody said a word.
We'll talk.
Thank And your favorite officer knew about it. Who's now a Winthrop, gonna be a Winthrop officer.
That's where he's gone, so you don't gotta worry about that.
Me under the bus on that one, okay.
Any other public comment?
Donna, you got anything you want?
On to the public hearing. The public hearing for the adoption of the general assistance ordinance and general assistance maximums. Any related action?
So this is a routine task that is taken by municipal officers, select board in this town, to update the appendix or the appendices in the back of the ordinance, because the state law changes every year what the maximums are. The Maine Municipal Association, because nobody at the state wants to produce this document, they produce it for us. Ours, the one that we're currently using, is 15 years old, not the appendices, but the whole thing. I think it's appropriate at this time that we adopt a newer version of it and at the same time adopt the new appendices. So we're adopting like another, I don't know, 100 pages of boilerplate that Maine Municipal puts together for all municipalities so that they can manage the general assistance program. So not really anything is going to change in this thing except for the annual update of the GA maximums, which are set in state law, which we do or do not have to adopt, but I would never encourage us to try to figure out what someone should pay for rent in Monmouth as opposed to what the state information is, because it's too complicated. So every municipality in the state, other than a few like Portland and Bangor, may deviate from these numbers. Everybody else, the numbers come from DHHS, but some communities like Portland and Bangor will make theirs higher, and then they choose to pay the amount that exceeds this out of the municipal budget and not the state reimbursement amount. So I wouldn't recommend that in a town like, we only spend about $3,500 a year on general assistance. So this is really a housekeeping matter. It looks like a big deal, but it's not.
So
I need you to approve it and you all need to sign it.
So this is a public hearing.
Yes.
So do we need to ask for comment on this?
That's
It's a $3,500 expense.
That's what it has been in the past, but it could
vary from year to year.
It could be significantly more than that at any time, but it doesn't, what's in here doesn't change what we spend. We budget 3,500, but we are under state law required to deal with individuals that need help. So if their home burns down and they have no insurance, they can't do anything, because we don't have any hotels in Monmouth, you can just think that there's a potential that we'd have to put up a family of 6 in Motel 8 out in Augusta for an extended period of time, and it would blow that right out of the water. But we don't have any choice. It's state law says we must help the people that are in dire need. We're the last resort people. Does that answer your question?
We need to ask for, as part of the public hearing, ask for public comment.
I would recommend that you
Is there any
do.
public comment? There is no public comment. So
Can I make a motion? We close the public hearing and then we can take an action?
I'll second it.
And so there's a motion to close the public hearing, second by Chris. Kent made the first motion. All those in favor of closing?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we accept the general assistance ordinance and GA maximums that have been recommended by this ordinance.
I'll second that.
So motion by Kent, second by Chris, to approve the adoption of the general assistance ordinance and related actions. All those in favor? Thank you. Next is to consider an event application for the 2025, although the old last year's beach party
Yes.
We didn't.
Yes, so the application is untimely, but it doesn't necessarily preclude you from approving it. But it is in front of you and there's a memo in there from, Reagan to explain it. It's a $3,000 request, which is the annual request that you've gotten every year for some time, I think. To pay for the beach party at the beach.
I make a motion, we approve the recommendations of the Economic Development Committee and
Can I ask a question? So
approve
if,
this request.
before I second it, my question is, so if these bills were already paid, what happens to this $3,000? Do they have a bank account that it goes into?
They do.
Okay, that was my, I'm like, okay, so what happens?
Yeah, they basically had a surplus.
It's on the seven.
Yeah, as part of the
Oh,
application
okay.
process. They had a surplus.
I didn't see where it
You probably
goes,
read
so-
Reagan's
Yes,
memo.
I read Reagan's
Yeah.
memo, but I didn't read through the
No,
application.
it's a good question. I'm sorry, I didn't fill you in on the details. They had a surplus that they basically funded this year's beach party with. And the thinking at the time was, well, maybe we're not gonna do it again. But at the end of it all, they said, no, we're definitely gonna do it again. So rather than have to fundraise the entire thing for next year, they're requesting a reimbursement for what they'd already spent this
They
year.
were wondering whether they were gonna have
Yeah.
to, just like, so they were wondering whether they needed to wind down their accounts.
Yeah, okay.
Be done.
All right, so that was,
I will second Ken's motion.
yes.
So the motion by Ken and a second by Mark to approve the application for the last year's beach park. All those in favor? Thank you. Next, to consider proposals for the repair of the fire department roof.
Are you here to speak to that?
There are good questions.
If you have any, okay, I wasn't sure. I knew the chief couldn't be here, so I was.
He's home under the weather tonight.
Huh?
He's under the weather.
Okay, fair enough. So we have, G&E roofing is our general, they kind of inspect a lot of the roofs in town and, they gave, a quote. Thank you, Ken. They gave a quote, I believe there's two parts to this thing here. So the first, roof, which is the main roof of the central fire station on Main Street, is $46,774. So what happened down there is there's a significant leak and damage to roof truss. Do you want to say anything before I just, or do you just want to correct me when I'm wrong? I mean, you can do that if you, I'm happy with either way. I don't know if you actually want to get up and say something. Okay, go ahead then. You have this in front of you. Do you want it?
Good.
Okay.
This has been going on for years. This week for years, G&E, all years I've been on the department, G&E kind of does the back work. Every couple of years, they try to fix around the leaks. What really got bad this year is when the carpenter ant showed up. And they literally, Art knows, he went out and pulled some of the insulation. There was a lot of damage up there. Went to G&E to get a quote. They came back with this. Now that's not an absolute number. It's does say in there, you know, it's kind of materials, the cripple in the studs, rafters in there. And until you open that all up, you don't really know how many for sure that you've got to replace. And whether or not they're going to decking. And both quotes mention that it's going to be kind of materials for that part of the job. Obviously, take a look at the two prices. Huge difference. The other one's well over like $120,000 just about.
Yeah, 119,000 plus whatever they add on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense to us, but you know, G&E is probably the roof to do, the company to do the roof. Whether or not you do both roofs, I don't think we really have a problem with. But over the meeting room area, that's a metal roof. Did you put that
I
on,
did.
Mark?
Yep, I
Thought you
did.
Yeah.
And so that is just 36-inch panels. They're full length.
We strapped over what was there.
Yeah.
And after, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years after that was done, it's probably been 10 or 12 years since that was put on. There was an ice damming issue. And the water built up several inches thick up on the roof and it went between the panels and came in. That summer, we went up and we siliconed all the seams where the steel overlaps. And we put heat tape on to alleviate the ice dam, and the water now has a place to go. $19,000 to replace that roof. I think when I did it 10 or 12 years ago, it was probably about $4,500. Times are different now, but in my opinion, that roof has a lot of life left in it. And as far as I know, it has not leaked since we did that repair.
Not leaked either, so.
Right, we put that new kitchen in, haven't heard a word about anything leaking. That was probably 4 or 5 years ago that we did the kitchen cabinets, I think.
Yep.
I don't think we need to spend money on something that's not a problem at this point. That roof should have another 10, 15 years in it probably before it needs repair, replacement.
Deputy Chief, can I ask you about so one of the items in the proposal is just to know that while they're working on that the equipment, meaning the fire apparatus and all of your gear and stuff needs to be cleared out of there. So what would you, can you just kind of brief them on how you think that you would handle that? Because it's obviously going to be a huge inconvenience.
Depends on when they do it. I
Yeah.
mean, the trucks are fairly easy, obviously. Kind of like when they did the water line part there, we parked them out back in the morning, put it back in at night. I drove it back out at 6 in the morning. So we worked around that. First of all, the gear and stuff in there. All the firefighters just have to take that turnout gear, put it in their vehicle. You're not supposed to take it in your house.
Right.
To get that out of there, we just have to seal the door up between the bay area and our meeting room, which is the kitchen. For the pancake breakfast, we don't contaminate that area. The rest of it, the hose is all on big rolling racks. You can roll those around.
And it doesn't-
Need to, and you can bag over a lot of that stuff.
Do you have any concerns about there being, so one of the concerns about them, right, like tearing down the roof. I'm just trying to say this all so everybody's completely aware. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. Is there any concern of yours about your hose reels and things like that being exposed to asbestos in a short period of time? Or do you think that that's going to be any type of, I mean, I know houses burn, right?
Yeah, if you think.
I'm just trying to say it.
That we've been in the last week, but house
Yeah.
fires, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
We're not too worried about asbestos.
Okay, I know. So my recommendation would be that after talking to Mark, because I don't, again, this is another thing, I'm not a roofer, I don't know. He's my construction expert, yeah. And I think if you have any objection, please chime yourself in here. Just know that first quote for $46,774 from Genie Roofing is the quote with the contingency that $6,725 is for all that asbestos stuff that they don't know exists. And I also want to point out that this is not a binding contract because you don't have the authority to bind the town into anything until the town meeting approves this. This will be a question for the voters. But they will put us on their schedule if you approve this now, which will make it so that this could be fixed potentially. They're saying June, July, August of next year is what we're looking at if you approve it now.
So we would be committing ourselves contingent on the approval by the voters.
That is correct. And I will not sign anything that says otherwise because I can't. So.
And if we have to put a number on that for the voters to approve, I'm thinking you want to add 10,000 of that just for the rot repair. The small area that I dug into, it's got spray foam on it, and you gotta scrape that spray foam out of there in order to put, which is time consuming. And we're assuming it's only rotten in those areas where that drain is, but you don't know. They could find out half the roof is rotted. Where I dug into it, everything from the spray foam line up was gone. It was rotted.
And I'm not sure, Mark, whether I could get, if we committed to doing something, I'm not sure if I could get like G&E to come back and try to scrape some of that stuff off to get a better idea. So it might be advantageous to put like a not to exceed and then, you know, let me try to do the best I can to lower that as far as possible before we put it on the warrant. Does that make any sense?
My hope was when they came to do the inspection that they would get up there with some kind of a steel probe and poke through in a lot of different areas to see if it was rotten in other places, which I don't know if they did or not.
They did not. No, I walked around with them. I was there. Chief was in, I don't know, somewhere. He was out of state, you know, so I opened the door and let them in. So there was nobody there and nobody did that. And I don't think that they were comfortable doing it unless they knew they were gonna do the work, because it's just, they don't want to damage anything.
Well, nobody wanted to disturb any more of that foam than they absolutely had to.
Right.
They had quite a mess to clean up after the
Right.
exterminator was in there.
Yeah, fair enough. We do have a relationship with G&E. I mean, I don't personally, but the town does. The town has been using them for years to do roof inspections around on
And of
different
course,
towns.
Steve Lapointe is a 1986 graduate of Monmouth.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Any of this funding come out of the TIF budget?
No,
No.
I know.
it's not economic development. Paying for general municipal operation expenses for
But it's not.
most things are not acceptable use of TIF money.
Exactly.
But if the neighbor needed a new roof on their house, they could get into the TIF.
It's called facade improvement, and it's supposed to be visible from the street. The added, you know, the double negative on this one is it's a flat roof and you can't see it from the road.
Gotcha.
What I would like to say is,
Well, can we put mirrors on it?
that's a good question. What I would like to ask from our resident contractor here is, I mean, you talked about this a little bit. And you know this as well, Chief, we have a water, the water on that flat roof discharges directly onto the next door neighbors at a rate that's unbelievable. And that probably should be dealt with before, because the current owner doesn't make a big deal of it, but if anybody else owned it, they may feel a lot differently. There's a water chute, so the roof just sheds onto the net. It's not.
Onto Dawn's Electric?
Yeah.
Okay.
It dumps on the ground.
I always try to keep the names out.
Well, I'm just trying to figure left or right. I wasn't. sure
Okay,
which-
fair enough.
Sorry, I should have used left or right.
No,
as
no,
opposed to-
It doesn't matter what you say, I just try not to bring them into the thing.
It goes downhill.
Yeah.
He has never, or she, or whoever owns that, I don't know these people. Whoever owns it has never said anything. It's just that if we're gonna have people up there, is there any interest in trying to address that issue as well? And maybe Chief Pollard can kind of talk about, I mean, you've probably seen it before. It shoots an incredible amount of water on the neighbor's property, which is not legal.
Could we put a dry well in and with a
I
downspout?
mean, if you could dig some type of dry well fill with stone.
Yeah.
So the water filtrated down. So what it does now, it comes on top of the ground and I mean, literally last year, the trench was that deep going down the hill.
Yeah. Well,
Keep putting rocks in it, right?
Yeah, we,
Right.
anything we could have got to fill it back up.
I just don't know whether you want to make that part of this solution or not, or
if we're
just,
gonna be messing around with the roof, then that would sort of make sense. I think the watershed people would probably appreciate that as well.
Well, when we moved HMH back to its current location, we dug a trench and we put infiltration pipe with holes in it to shed all the way back. That's the parking lot. So by the time it gets to the end of the parking lot, there's virtually no water coming out. You could do the same thing on the backside of their shed and go straight back with a small trench, and Tony can do it with the small backhoe. It's not a big
Not a
deal.
big deal. Yeah.
Right. I don't have great answers for you on that particular thing, but if you want me to investigate that further, we can, and then we can try to make sure that whatever the roof solution is, that it incorporates with what Public Works can put in for a pipe and all that stuff. I just want to know whether you even want to acknowledge that it's an issue, because it is an issue.
Well, yeah.
If they're gonna be there with people up on the
Exactly.
roof.
Right, I'm just thinking this might be a chance to have everybody work together to kind of,
Yeah, solve a problem.
does that make sense?
It's like a separate issue. The water, when they go up and fix the roof and redo it, the water's still gonna come off the roof in the same location.
Right.
So then it's up to us. Yeah, someday we should do a project and make it so it doesn't go onto the neighbor's property.
Okay.
But it won't have any effect on what they're doing on the roof.
Okay, so you don't think it needs to be a part of
Drain is
anything,
gonna
any
be in the
consideration
same
here?
place. No, the water's still gonna come off the roof in the same spot. It's just up to us how we handle it when it gets to the ground.
Okay, fair enough. So then it's not an issue. We'll deal with it
They
internally.
wouldn't do anything with that water. Once it's off the roof, is all they care about. They're not dealing with it once it hits the ground. That would be up to us. So.
Okay, fair enough. I just wanted to put it out there, so I didn't know if that.
So with regard to this contract, what I'm seeing is a proposal for 46,744.
Plus the,
Roof number one,
Yep.
plus 6,725 for if there is asbestos.
correct,
And then some unknown amount, time and labor for replacing rotted components.
correct. And I think whatever number,
$10,000 sounds
yeah,
reasonable.
whatever Mark thinks is appropriate, I
So
don't.
if you total all that up, that comes to 62,799, let's call it 63,000 in total. And I make a motion
Not to exceed would.
not that we approve this particular proposal contingent on the voters approving an amount not to exceed $63,000.
Well,
Perfect.
mine calculator, I did that math because I don't use my brain.
Yeah, did it add it up right?
Well, so before we,
Yeah,
I
63,000.
really trust Cat's math.
So-
I can't do it.
well, I don't do math without a calculator.
Me either. I need a spreadsheet.
Plus 10,000. So I come up with 63,499. So 46,774,
Yeah, I think you're right.
67,25. Plus 10,000, I come up with 63,499.
right, so let's say 63,500.
60, you know,
63.
I like rounding them.
We'll say 65.
65.
Just-
I would say 65 and just make it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will consider the
Exactly.
friendly
You need
amendment.
to, you need to
Yeah.
accept the
Yeah.
amendment.
Accept the amendment to my,
65, I think that's a good.
65,000, okay.
Yes.
I'll second the motion.
Can't change it again because I'm running out of space.
Made a motion and Mark seconded it to,
and thank you for checking on that.
the, proposal from G&E Roofing, for the repair of the fire department contingent upon approval at our town meeting. All those in favor? Thank you.
And I'll just say it was your brother that tutored me in algebra, not you.
It's actually better than I anticipated, because I thought if the whole roof deck is rotted, we could be talking 200,000 to put a roof on that thing. So I was pleasantly surprised at that number.
Let's hope it's not all rotted.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome to leave at your convenience. Thank you for coming.
Next on the agenda is to, consider reappointing Winona Prince to the Conservation Commission.
I make a motion, we reappoint Winona Prince to the Conservation Commission.
I'll second that.
So the motion by Ken, second by Chris, to reappoint Winona Prince to the Conservation Commission. All those in favor? Thank you. Next is to do the warrant for November 26th and December 10th.
I do my best here, but I should have printed these and I didn't, so there we go. This is the one for. This is number 4, so the days on here are not necessarily the ones on the DocuSign, but I'm trying to line them up with your meetings so that they make more sense, because there was some confusion about which one was being approved before, is that. I don't know if I'm helping or making it worse. Okay, Allstate Construction, Tilson Road paving, $101,142. Androscoggin Bank debt service, $127,053. Blue Rock Earthworks, $5,106. Materials Transport, Transfer Station. Blue Star Accounting, that's our pre-audit, $2,625. Dirigo Wireless, Inc. Fire Department Equipment Repairs and Maintenance and Fire Department Radios, $2,720. Sorry, it takes me just like, I'm only reading the ones over 1,000, so I'm trying to make sure. Kennebec Tree Service, Public Works Tree Services, Tree Removal, Wilson Pond Road, Bonin Road, Peace Hill Road, $1,600. Maine Equalization Consultants, that's our assessing agent, $2,437. Maine Technology Group, IT and our phone service, $3,642. Goodwood Salt Company. Guess what that's for? $7,948. Power Plan, which is really John Deere Financial. It's the account we have at the John Deere dealership for the grader, because that's who makes the grader. So this is the improvements when it was gone. $6,769.49. Rinaldi Energy Diesel Fuel for Public Works, $5,873. RSU number 2, School Department, $563,369. And State of Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles, $19,848. For a total warrant of $871,861.73. This was the one that was printed on December 4th, which would make it the November 26th one. And then let me get the other one for you. You can make a motion on that if you would like to.
I make a motion, we approve fiscal year 25-26 warrant for the November 26th meeting.
I'll second that.
It's a motion by Kent, a second by Chris to approve the 25-26 warrant for November 26th. All those in favor?
Just gotta make sure it's not the one before. I printed these, so I apologize. Just so you know, because we're so IT savvy around here now. You can't keep a warrant open for more than like 3 or 4 days, or I have to get a new one and I have to get it sent back to me so that people can't see it. And,
Yes.
So that's what I'm waiting for.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the new
Getting
one.
the new one to
Yeah.
send to you, yes.
You don't have a meeting for a few weeks, they all expire. Well, I should have printed it. See, I'm sorry. To go home. Amazon Capital Services, $3,642, which is that's our account that we run with Amazon. It's like our credit card for things we buy. Rock Earthworks, $2,480. It's transfer station shipping, trucking.
Yeah.
The consolidated stuff doesn't total up well, but I'm gonna tell you that our phone bill costs more than $1,000. It's probably like 3,000, but they're all like, $100 at a whack and they all get paid separately. Irigo Wireless Incorporated. Again, the same thing. They do radios and stuff like that for the fire and police department. Let's see what else we got here. And Technology Group again, for phone and IT services, $3,342 change. Rinaldi Energy, which is it's usually diesel, I believe, for them. It's about $6,728. Sol's Auto Supply, $1,769. A bunch of looks like parts and things like that for public works equipment. State of Maine Bureau of Motor Vehicles, $16,828.58. I think that's it for that one. That's it.
I make a motion, we approve fiscal year 25-26 warrant from the December 10 meeting.
I'll second that.
Pat made a motion and Chris seconded it to approve warrant 25 for fiscal year 25-26. Number 10, 2025. All those in favor? Thank you.
Before we adjourn, can I ask a question about when we're meeting next?
Yep. So your next regularly scheduled meeting would be on Christmas Eve. So I made an assumption that you were not going to want to meet that night. So your regularly meeting would be January 7th.
Okay. And we're kicking off the budget process at that point?
Yes. So the budget schedule
Was part of the link. This is it. The first
You
time
have it
we,
right
yeah.
Yeah.
There. So we don't have, we have public safety in front of us on January 21st. All the preliminary meetings with Justin and the department heads are before that. So we don't have a department in front of us until public safety on the 21st.
Okay.
and my thought was this year, Ken, it was that I wanted to move the public hearing to an earlier point in the process. So I thought that you guys could work through the departments, then have instead of doing what we had done in the past, just for anybody that hasn't been through this before, is we did the public hearing right before the meeting in which you signed the warrant. My thought was you meet the departments, have your public hearing, so whoever wants to can come in here and give their opinion. And then there's a period of time that we can take your feedback from you to then bring back a final draft budget for you to review and then do your, so I'm kind of flip flopping the way that it's been done in the past, but my thought was to get the public input earlier, just to try to, does that make any sense? I wanted
It
to,
does. I'm assuming the department heads are going to be spending their Christmas vacation crunching numbers and figuring out what their plan
yes, and they're
is.
very happy about it, but that's not your concern.
That's the next piece. I'm wondering if there's any interest on this board for asking the department, asking the town manager to work with the department heads to limit the level of increase to a 2% increase over last year or over our current fiscal year.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
It's fine.
We've heard from our taxpayers. And I mean, you said you already had discussion with them about
Yes.
not asking for anything new.
Yep.
No big purchases.
Yep. I've already instructed that.
Yep.
Information. I just want to make, that if it's held, if that is a perfectly great thing to ask, and then I can deliver that for you. And that's fine. I have absolutely no objection. Just keep in mind that the union contract has a 5% raise, which is a vast majority of what drives our escalator. So, so to basically keep it at that, we have to cut expenditures, which is basically services or something like that. But if you folks at any time want to tell me 2%, you tell me and I will deliver it. You just have to
My message would be,
know what that means. That's all.
obviously, we can't control the union contract line for wages. So outside of the line of wages.
Like Public Works wages is only a portion of the total
Yes.
budget.
That's correct.
So if the wages go up 5%, then we gotta make sure the other stuff stays the same.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then-
That's a fine way to look at
And
it.
we
Yep,
hold it at 2% overall.
yep, yep. I can deliver whatever number that you want.
I think that's a reasonable ask.
Yep.
Okay. Can I get a,
You want to vote on
are you
that?
all in agreement? No, I don't need a vote. I just need to make sure that you're all head nodding in the same way. Okay, yep, that's fine. That's fine. 2%.
Outside of the wage line. I mean, that's how I would put it.
2% overall.
Yeah.
Well, that's a difference.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could ask them to do two different budgets, one where it's 2% overall and then one where it's 2% outside the wage line, if that's what you'd like to see. Because those numbers should be easy for them to calculate.
Oh, yeah, we can do whatever you want. You give me direction and they will do it. Or I will do it for them.
Ideally,
I mean,
if
that's
we
fine,
could do
too.
2% overall, that makes
That's
the
what
most sense for the taxpayers.
Okay, 2% overall. Okay.
Which is not what you said.
No, because the wage line we know is gonna be 5%, because.
It is kind of,
That's why I said they could provide both if we wanted, and then we'd have, we could look at it and see if there's certain areas where, maybe we should have a little bit more wiggle room.
It gives them a starting point.
Yeah.
This is where we would like to see it. Try to aim for this number.
yeah.
And if we may get into the budget process, like it is absolutely not gonna work for this particular department, and this is why. And we'll have to deal with that, but it's a good place to start.
But everything goes up, of course, cost of living.
Yeah.
Cost
And
of doing
insurance.
business.
Fuel.
By giving me a goal is not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Makes me earn my money. It's okay, I promise. It may not work, but I will deliver what you asked me to give you and put it in front of you.
Last year I asked for a 3% reduction to start.
Yeah. I told you that was crazy, but
It's a place to start.
yeah, and that's fine. I'm okay. So where are we? I'm sorry, we've gone a couple places here. So
2% overall.
2% overall.
2% increase overall, and we're only talking municipal expenditures. I don't have to account for what I anticipate the county and the school are gonna do. Right?
I mean, this is what we have under control.
So.
Because then I'm gonna pull my hair out.
Yeah.
Because- Okay, 2%. Including salary increase. So. Good. Fair enough.
For as much as you need to earn your money, so do the department heads.
It's okay. This kind of direction is actually very helpful when we build the budget. It's like if you just, there's also nothing wrong with just saying, build the budget that you want, and then we will decide what you get. Right? That's one way to do it. There's also absolutely nothing wrong with saying, this is what we want you to try to achieve. And then we will talk about it later and all. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's a healthy, and that's why I'm here and I'll make it happen.
It's easier to set the goals that way and what you want. You say 2% or whatever, not. Let's give it a bit. Just something to shoot.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
All those in favor?